This is the game Ark of Atlantis, and today I'm going to be showing you how to play this game. Now keep in mind that this is an early prototype and the artwork has already changed since this point. The final game will be on a board and these will look a little bit different than they do now. But having said that, the components are the same. So the objective of this game is to save all of your workers and collect as many of these tokens here that have animals, treasures, and artifacts on them before the island sinks. And as the game progresses, the entire island will vanish and go under. So how do you save your workers? You save your workers by using the ship deck. And setting up the ship deck is very easy. You just give it a good shuffle and you put out 4 cards, just like this. And to save one of your workers, you have to purchase one of these ship cards, and to purchase it, you need to pay these resources here that are next to the minus sign. So for this card here, which is worth 7 victory points, you would pay an ore, 2 flax, and 4 wood. And of course, this would give you 7 victory points, and you would come over here and move your victory point marker up 7 points. So this is a really great ship card to buy. Not only does it save one of your workers, it gives you 7 points, and it allows you to place right here later on in the game and get those resources at a much better rate. So that's how you save your workers, and you want to end up with as many ship cards as you have workers. Then the other part of the game that we're going to set up is the event deck. And the first thing you want to do is pull out the 2 earthquake cards. Now all of the other cards in here, they just have a tile on them and an arrow showing that you flip over 1 tile. But the earthquake cards are particularly terrible in that they cause you to draw 2 cards and flip over 2 tiles. So I'm just going to set these aside and I'm going to shuffle the event deck. Then I'm going to pull out 2 cards at random and without looking at them, set them aside. Next, I'm going to split the event deck into 2 halves. And all I'm going to do from this point on is I'm going to mix one of the earthquake cards into each half, and I'm going to give them a little shuffle. One's mixed up, and now this one's mixed up. Lastly, I'm going to take these 2 random cards and put them in the middle, sandwich them in the middle just like that, and voila, my event deck is perfectly set up. And that brings me to the time track. And you'll notice that every once in a while on the time track, you have numbers that are slightly different. This is when an event is triggered. So as you're going along, as we pass these, you'll see me drawing a card from the event deck, and we will be resolving that event, and the island will actually begin sinking. Now when you set up the tiles here, you want to set them up in order of 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around, with the city of Atlantis at the heart of the island. And then after you've set up your tiles, you want to put out your tokens, and you're going to reach into the bag blindly and set out your tokens also in ascending order, 1, 2, 3, all the way around. So that one is missing, and the last one here. All our tokens are in place, and our game is set up to play. So the first person who would be going is here. It looks like it's my turn. So on my turn, I'm going to go out into the island and try to collect the resources that I need to buy one of these ship cards. So I'm already looking over here and thinking, I'm going to need some wood. So I'm going to go here, and I can put 2 guys on these golden rings right here. And that means no one else can go here. And the silver ring, on my next turn, I could go here to collect this token. And the tokens help you really win the game because, as you can see right here on this banner, the more of the same kind of tokens you have, the more points you have. So if you have one, say, green token like this, it gives me automatically 2 points. If I have 2 tokens that are green, those are the animals, then it gives me 5 points, etc. And it goes up in that order. So that was my first move, and I'm gonna come over here and collect my 6 wood resources. All right, and then I move over here to the time track and move my marker up 2 spaces. Now it's yellow's turn, and yellow also says, you know, well, let's get some gold. So yellow gets 3 gold resources, and he put out 2 workers, so that means his marker moves up 2 spaces. Now what's really cool about this game is that the turn order is very unique, and what's really fun is that yellow is still on top. That means that yellow gets another turn, and in this case yellow will come over here onto the silver ring, and yellow earned this token, so they get to move that over. And they move up 1 more space, which is, guess what, the space that triggers an event. And so I turn over the top event card, and here it has tile number 1. That means tile number 1 gets flipped over. So I'm going to move my workers aside and flip the tile over. Now look at this, the tile is now sinking. If this number 1, gets drawn again, it will disappear from the game. It will be permanently removed. And with it, the opportunity to purchase these resources will also be removed. So now I'm replacing my workers, the yellow workers on it, because the tile hasn't yet sunk. So they're still safe until that number is drawn again. And we continue to play in this manner, acquiring ship cards and acquiring these tokens, and trying to save as much as possible until the entire island sinks. Now, one thing that's also important to note is that workers can be placed into the center of town, into the city, and there are several actions that can be taken in the city, and you can reference this banner here, which will tell you exactly what you can do. And you can trade, you can sell some of your gold resources to get the resources you need to take the actions that you are wanting to take. And you also go here to buy a ship tile. So for example, I'm going to fast forward in the game and pretend like I have two earned resources here. And so on my turn, I'll go here to the center, and that's action number 5. And I'm going to build this ship card here. So I'm just going to pay 2 gold and 4 wood for it. And just return these over here. That gives me my 3 victory points. Look at that, I'm winning the game. And then I move my time track marker. And because that was only 1 move, of course it's my turn again. I get a second turn. Now briefly, I'm going to skip ahead and show you how the event deck unfolds. So then tile number 6 gets flipped over, and then as we keep going on, tile number 3 gets flipped over. Now if we make it all the way to the end of the round, and let's say tile number 3 gets drawn twice and it's actually gone under. So the token is lost to sea and the tile. They're both removed from the game. And my workers are now swimming. So at the end of the round, I have to either pay 2 gold to get my workers back, or I have to pay 4 victory points, which is kind of a brutal punishment. So you want to avoid having your workers go swimming. you don't want them out there swimming for their lives. The idea is that you predict which one is likely to sink and which one is not, and try to walk the edge of what can help you get ahead without taking too much risk. At the end of the round, you get to retrieve all of your workers, and so you get to reset, and you'll be placing them over again. And if there's any tiles that are missing a token that haven't completely sunk, that are still visible, you simply reach into the bag and pull out and replace another token there. And at the end of the game, you add up your points, and the person who has saved the most from Atlantis is the winner. And the game is completely over when all of the tiles are gone and removed. The game is over. I'm going to briefly go over scoring now. So I obviously only have 4 ship cards earned, and that means I only get to save 4 of my workers, and 3 of them are still swimming somewhere where Atlantis used to be. And I'm going to get points deducted for not managing to save those. And I already have these victory points added up here conveniently on my victory point tracker, and I already have those 17 points marked. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add up these tokens here, and you can see that I have 3 of one color, which gives me 9 points, and 2 of one color, which gives me 5 points, and then I just have 1 purple one, which is an additional 2 points, which is 16 points. So I get to move forward 16 points and combining all of my points together, I'm at 33, so it's not so bad. But because I lost these 3 workers to the sea, I get a 5-point deduction for each one of them. So I'm going to deduct 15 points, and that puts me at 18 as my final score. And I can only hope that I did better than my opponent, because the person who saves the most from Atlantis is the winner of the game.